I get so much FOMO. I want to be on stage, and it makes me like, should I be doing this? Am I doing everything right? People taking up space to mention community theater and like talk about things they care about instead of mentioning all of the shows that they've been a part of.
Why do we have to be so afraid of really owning ourselves and defining who we are on so many different levels?
I'm trying to be quiet. We saw a show last night called Hell's Kitchen. It is written by Alicia Keys and loosely based around her life. My inner musical theater girly is just screaming. And I have this interesting relationship with seeing shows and like being a audience member. I learn so much from it constantly whenever I see a show. But I get so much FOMO. I want to be on stage, and it makes me like, should I be doing this? Am I doing everything right? Like, I mean, being on a Broadway stage would be so cool. And doing all of the sexy things, being on stage, being in front of the camera is something I dream of, and that's why you're watching this channel. But what was really cool is while I was watching this show last night, I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to look at all of the actors in it and see what their background is. When I lived outside of New York, when I lived in New Jersey, and when I lived in New York, I saw shows. My aunt has brought me to shows since I was 5. And my favorite thing to do is to look at all the actors and see what their backgrounds are. And I guess I'm so used to seeing actors whose backgrounds are like they went to Juilliard and they were in a bunch of other Broadway shows, and then they were in like all of these really notable regional shows. And what was so cool was I saw so many people in this program where this is their Broadway debut and they hadn't really done much other theater. Specifically, the gal who played the lead, Allie. She is an understudy of Allie, an understudy of Jessica, an understudy of Tiny. Her description I loved. It says she's overjoyed to make her Broadway debut in Hell's Kitchen, which is so cool because she was, the lead last night. A dream come true role after growing up performing in community theater in Laurel, Maryland. I don't know, I personally have never seen a Broadway description talking about how she's done so much community theater. Like, whoa, attributing their success and mentioning community theater. A recent graduate of AMDA, she's deeply grateful to her teacher's family and Hell's Kitchen team for their unwavering support and belief in her. Like, I'm so used to seeing lots of credits stuck in here, which is fine. It's totally fine. But like, that was just really cool of me to see. So many people who just, Susan Oliveras, Broadway debut. In a world where it seems property has more rights than people, let us recognize our common humanity, extend empathy to all, and be active in our own democracy to vote for those individuals who have our commonalities at heart, and then references some off-Broadway stuff. But like, people taking up space to mention community theater and like talk about things they care about instead of mentioning all of the shows that they've been a part of, which I love seeing the shows that they've been a part of. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just thought that was so cool. A few other things that hit me when I was watching it last night. You're watching people who have done their homework. It's weird because I've been rewatching, where is it? I've been rewatching The Hating Game. I can't tell you how many times I've watched this movie in the past month. I don't know why. I love it so much. But I also tend to, when I find something really fascinating, I watch it over and over again, and then I start seeing the things that I didn't see the first few times, and I start recognizing, I wonder why they shot that there, and I wonder why they cut to here, and oh, it seems like that was an improv. Like, I love dissecting that. And what I'm realizing rewatching that and watching the show last night was like, what you're watching is you're watching people who have done their homework. You're just watching their homework. And doing your homework as an artist is like the unsexy part. That's like sitting around in your room, in your home, in your apartment, memorizing the scripts, working off it with your friends, like the really unsexy part that just feels like you're not in filming, you're not in rehearsal, or maybe you are in rehearsal, but it's like you're tired. It's the unsexy part. But you have to do that unsexy part in order to then have the sexy screen time and stage time. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but it was really cool. I feel like uncomfortable being in the audience member position because I just so badly want to hop up on stage and dance with them. It really forces me to be like, what can I learn from this? Like, what can I learn from this as an audience member? What can I sit down and watch? And studying other people's work is really helpful. Obviously, we all want to take action and do that, but as actors specifically, it can be very limiting. Even when you're on film, when you're on set, like the amount of time that you're waiting compared to the amount of time that you're acting is so much larger. So I'm excited to tell you more about the other 2 shows that I see. And although I would probably never get cast in a show like this because I'm not like probably the nationality that they'd want, it was still really cool to envision what I would do in a position like that. Like, how would I do that? How would I work on that? Like, I don't know. Comment below if like you ever if you get uncomfortable being in the like the audience member position and you're like, oh, I want my art to be up there. Like, I want to be performing or I want to be doing it. Yeah, that's me. Or for anything that you're doing, like when you see someone else doing what you love and you're just like, and you feel jealous, but then you're like, I shouldn't feel jealous. Or is it envy? There's a difference between jealous and envy. You feel envy. You're like, I don't want to feel envy because like I'm so glad that they have this role, but like also I would love to do what you're doing. Mixed emotions, man. I'm doing my makeup where I'm sleeping, which is the couch, but it's a really comfortable couch, so don't feel bad for me. I'm good. I have to get on like one client meeting. I tried to cancel everything this week because I'm up in New York City, and not in South Carolina where I live. There are a few that I booked before we booked this trip, so yeah, I'm just do like one client meeting and then we're gonna see, I think, Moulin Rouge tonight. So I'll let you know my reflections about that coming from an actor who's just trying to do it all, an artist trying to do it all. And who feels uncomfortable in the audience seat, but knows that she needs to learn from others. And she needs to humble herself a little bit. Because I can't always be performing, although I want to. Watching others and learning from them and appreciating them is a really important part of it. See you later.
Oh my gosh, it has been a week. I got back from Manhattan on Friday and it's Tuesday. And between then, I have just been, in and out of calls all day. I have been feeling a lull in Studio Violet with my content and branding work and clients and all that. But this week has been really cool because I've had some people who were like, Dana, I've had some people who were like ghosting me, who all of a sudden came back. I think it's because it's August and everybody's on vacation. Also, got very cute outfits from American Eagle. Is that a stain? Oh. I wanted to talk about the 2 other shows that I saw. And I can't find my program for Moulin Rouge, but I had a lot to say about this show as well, especially for artists and multi-hyphenates and creative human beings. Because I loved so much about this show when it comes to artists. Like, as an artist myself, I don't know if you feel the same way. I think I mentioned it before. I get very uncomfortable being in the audience member seat. I just get FOMO because everybody else is on stage and I'm like, but I want to be dancing. So it was really cool seeing so many diverse people dancing on stage. And honestly, they were like dances that I'm like, I've done stuff like that before. I don't know. It was amazing. They were all amazing and they probably have much better technique than I do. But it kind of made me feel like when I went to college and would take dance classes, it was very similar to that. And I'm like, maybe I'm not as bad as I think. Like maybe it is possible for me to be on a stage too. Maybe not a Broadway stage yet, or maybe, I don't know, but I don't know, like being able to see other people on a stage doing things that you do and seeing it under the gorgeous lighting, it just showed me too, like how much presentation has to do with all of it. Like having amazing lighting is going to highlight these dancers even more than when you don't have good lighting, when you have flat lighting. And it reminded me a lot also of my work with Studio Violet. I work with women who have been in coaching and consulting and have a business, and they just want their brand to infuse who they are into it. The way you present yourself online is going to be how you manifest future things, and it's going to be how people see you. Something I really, really loved about the play itself and the production of it. So this is Buena Vista Social Club, and it's all about a band based out of Cuba, maybe in the 50s. There's this little booklet inside this playbill, and when you open it up, there's a lot of information about the different songs, about what it's about, because it's all in Spanish. And it said, our very own onstage flutist, Harry Paz, has sprinkled in his beautiful illustrations. You see, in Cuba, we all wear many hats, and Harry is no different. I have never seen anything like this. I don't know. I have never seen anything like multi-hyphenate being this front and center in the theater. Maybe it's because I wasn't being as much aware of it, but I just absolutely love that. So these gorgeous illustrations that are illustrating what was going on in the show was drawn by the flutist on stage. Like, do you know how much talent he has to have to be an onstage flutist for Broadway and also an artist? It just gave me so much hope and excitement that things that are like that us multi-hyphenates, us artists can actually like do multiple things and wear many hats. There's so many things for so long that I have been really nervous about because I'm like, well, I don't want people to see me as this because then they're not going to see me as this. Like, I don't know if you've had that. Comment down below if you have. Like, if you're an artist, but you don't want people, like, you like to do crochet, but you don't want, like, people to know that you do crochet, comment down below. Because I think that's something we all have. And it's, for me, I feel like it's a sense of my ego of being like, I want to be perceived as this thing. And I want to be able to control what people see me as. And I don't think any of us can do that. And I just thought this was such a cool nod to like, hey, he's a flutist, he's an artist, and I'm sure a bunch of these people are also doing other things. And that was also really cool, is that these were like actual musicians who were on a Broadway stage. Like, as a young person, I dreamt of being on a Broadway stage, and I have always revered it as something that's like so exclusive and far away. And being able to see like musicians being on the same stage as like Broadway actors, and they're all together in one, it just made me feel really, really happy. Ashley De La Rosa, young Haiti. Songwriter, singer, actress, creative, little sister, auntie, daughter, dreamer, thinker, feeler, grateful, credits, then her website. But like, she put her whole bio as just people she's grateful for and who all the things she defines herself as. And like, what if we did that? And now I am coming from a place where I am all about being clear about your branding. Like, this is what I do with my clients. But internally for yourself, I think it's all such a great reminder that like we have so many roles in our lives and we are never just one person. Like, we're not just the Broadway actor. Even if we get to that dream, we're not just the award-winning artist. We are also a wife, a husband, a mom, whatever that might be. And I think that's so beautiful. I haven't seen Broadway shows in a while, and I used to go a lot when I lived in New York City. And it's really, really cool to see so many diverse people in a show, to see this multi-hyphenate work happening. It's just chef's kiss and inspires me. If it inspires you, I welcome you to just go get immersed in your art scene or talk to an artist who you really love and just like see how many other things they do. Because I guarantee for you, they might seem like the Broadway actor. And for me, like, I'm looking at all these people, I'm like, Broadway actor, Broadway dancer, Broadway performer, like, that's so cool to me. But as soon as they step out of that dressing room and back out into the street, like, they're riding the same subways as everyone else, and they know it, and they know that they have other roles in their lives. And I think that can remind us that like our dreams are more accessible than we think. Like we don't stop being the friend, the daughter, the sister just because we hit our dreams. So why do we have to be so afraid of really owning ourselves and defining who we are on so many different levels? I just thought that really inspired me and I wanted to share it with you. I'm so happy you joined along for this week's vlog. There's a few really fun things that are happening, not to mention, I think I'm gonna rename Violet Gaze and just make it my name too, which is gonna be really hard because I have a website that has like pretty good traffic and stuff, so that's gonna mess it up a little bit. But I just feel like the more I make these vlogs, the more I feel like it's about me. And I've always been really hesitant about making things about me. And going back to this whole multi-hyphenate thing, like I've felt like when I started my blog and vlog and YouTube channel, I didn't want all these things to be attached to me, because what if I say something wrong? What if I say a wrong fact? What if not everything I do is like what I want people to see? And I just realized like, I'm sorry, I'm a multi-hyphenated person, just like in here. I think it'll be more personal and it won't have me running away from myself. I think it's gonna be a really good change. So look out for that in a little bit. And I'm really excited to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for following along. As usual, stay inspired and stay creative. See you next time, friend. Love you, bye.